Progressivism, otherwise known as the far left and militant wing of the Democratic Party, continue their forward march toward the socialization of America. They hide in plain sight and can often be found in gated communities, faculty lounges, DEI departments, big tech, and Hollywood. Their spurious scholarship and convoluted logic allows them to reason that the end justifies the means. But if you look hard enough, you will see their hypocrisy. For example, they advocate for an open border to allow as many genuinely persecuted, suffering people in, without taking into account the impact on border communities and the fact that they've opened the door to criminals and terrorists who prey on the suffering migrants to gain access or provide an avenue for the drug cartels to get their drugs transported into the United States. Then there's the climate change zealots who seem to think that our planet, which is 4.5 billion years old, is going to blow up in the next several decades due to weather-related events brought on by global warming. There is strong intellectual opinion that refutes that the climate apocalypse is nigh. This argument is like whether the glass is half empty or half full. I'd recommend reading the works of Dr. Stephen Koonin, a PhD in theoretical physics from MIT, founding director of NYU's Center for Urban Science and Progress, former professor and provost at Caltech, and the former Undersecretary for Science at the United States Department of Energy in the Obama administration. Progressives choose to ignore the collateral damage a zero-carbon policy causes, like the expensive and punitive costs that will be borne by American working families and the 60% of Americans that live paycheck to paycheck, like their heating bills and the cost of gas to get to work for those not rich enough to afford a Tesla. Progressives don't care that billions of tons of the Earth's crust will be dug up to mine for the materials that comprise electric car batteries, or that many hundreds of children will die in mining operations for cobalt, an essential ingredient in EVs. They are also ignorant of history, because undermining America's fossil fuel production has sent our NATO allies on bended knee to Vladimir Putin for their energy needs, as well as indirectly helping fund his war with Ukraine. Then we have the woke social justice warriors who protest on college campuses and infiltrate DEI departments to eradicate free speech and individuality through intimidation and canceling in the name of conformity. Then there's academia, those virtue-signaling paragons of conformity who are indoctrinating our young people on intellectually discredited concepts like critical race theory, gender ideology, postmodernism, and identity politics. I can go on, but you are getting the gist. The fallacy of modern progressivism is their belief that the end does justify the means. I beg to differ. That's not what I learned in ethics class.